A small group of GOP senators are signaling opposition that could block their own party's massive tax overhaul. Now, the Trump administration is signaling that it may be willing to budge on its stance over a major provision in the Republican tax plan, taking aim at Obamacare. Speaking yesterday, White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney suggested that while the administration wants to repeal the health law's individual mandate, it is open to dropping the repeal from the Senate bill to make sure a final bill gets to President Trump's desk, which Mulvaney says may take some bending of the rules.
We're using reconciliation so that we only need 50 votes in the Senate instead of 60. In order to do that, the certain proposals can only have certain economic impact. And one of the ways to game the system is to make things expire. The Bush tax cuts back in the early 2000s did the same thing. They supposedly would expire after 9 years. What we tell folks is this, is that if it's good policy, it will become permanent. If it's bad policy, it will become temporary. That's just the way that it is. So this is done more to force the shoehorn the bill into the rules than because we think it's good policy. I don't think anybody doubts where the White House is on repealing and replacing Obamacare. We absolutely want to do it. If we can repeal part of Obamacare as part of a tax bill and have a tax bill that is still a good tax bill that can pass, that's great. If it becomes an impediment to getting the best tax bill we can, then we're okay with taking it out.
Can you vote for the bill that passed the Senate Finance Committee?
I want to see changes in that bill, and I think there will be changes.
You can't vote for it as written.
I haven't reached that conclusion yet because I think there are going to be further changes. But the biggest mistake was putting in a provision from the Affordable Care Act into the Senate bill that's not in the House bill. And I hope that will be dropped, or that bills that have been introduced by Senators Alexander Murray and Bill Nelson and myself will be adopted to mitigate the impact of those provisions.
So, Heidi, where do we stand right now? Ron Johnson has come out and said he'll be against this bill. Susan Collins, we can't say anything definitively. She certainly sounds far more open to supporting this than she did the health care reform bill. Where's Lisa Murkowski? Where's Jeff Flake? Where's John McCain? What's the possibility that the Republicans actually pass this tax bill, which editorially, I will say, will blow a hole in the deficit, steal from future generations, and not revive the economy enough to make it worth all the giveaways we're giving to the wealthiest of Americans? There you go. How's that for a leading question? Where does that stand?
You identified the main members. You identified the main members who we have yet to hear from. So you have the issue of the Obamacare mandate repeal. Before that even came onto the scene, you had big problems here under the surface with these members who actually care about the debt.
Oh, you know what, Heidi, I forget Bob Corker, who told us even before this started being debated, he would have a hard time supporting this tax reform bill because, again, what would do to the national debt?
Right, because we're at a point, Joe, I talked with a vulnerable Democrat who had originally been courted by this White House and now said, no way, basically, because we're at a point right now, and I think this is also potentially how Bob Corker is feeling, how about long-term projections here, if nothing is done and Congress didn't change this, becoming 100% of GDP itself crash the economy. We passed this bill despite all of its flaws of taking more money or giving more money to the rich than the middle class, of blowing up our national debt. Does this actually promote the growth that you're promising? And they, shockingly, if you read the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, Joe, don't have that information. They can't guarantee us that this would create the growth. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw in the Wall Street Journal, there was a story about Gary Cohn asking CEOs, how many of you are going to invest once we give you this great Christmas present tax cut? And he's like, come on, everybody, raise your hands. And they weren't doing it.
He didn't get the response that he was expecting.
He didn't get the response he wanted, yeah.
I've got to say, I think it's awesome. And kids, by the way, if you're at home and you're just starting to follow politics, I can tell you, it's been the truth over the last 30 years, probably be the truth over the next 30 years. The only time Democrats ever care about the national debt is when Republicans are trying to pass tax cuts. The only time Republicans ever care about the national debt, Republicans want to pass tax cuts, and Republicans just don't care about the debt when they're the ones in the White House jacking it up.
Unless they're retiring.
Yes.
And then elements and address the debt. We're out of sequence, aren't we?
So, yes, there was Joe's take on the plan. Now, take us through the numbers, Steve.
I'll take you through the numbers, and then I will give you maybe a more, I don't know if it's optimistic. So 25% of the benefit from this tax cut would go to the top 1%. Another 25% would go to the next 4%. So 50% of the benefit for individuals from this tax cut would go to the top 5%
so
of the country.
Let's stop right there. 2 points. The first point is obviously the way the tax, our tax system is set up right now. The wealthier pay a larger percentage of the taxes. So if you're going to cut taxes, aren't you most likely going to be helping the richer?
Well, you don't have to. Remember, this administration is running around calling this a middle-class tax cut.
Right.
They don't say it's an across-the-board tax cut for everybody. They don't say the rich pay more, so they're going to get more.
All right.
They call this a middle-class tax cut. And by the way, these numbers don't even include the repeal of the estate tax if it gets through.
All right, so
really
great point there.
Okay.
This is not a middle-class tax cut. My second question is this. I don't mind tax cuts for the wealthy, as far as businesses, corporations, if they're targeted in such a way, actually
potentially
even greater.
worse. But look at the debt, Joe, to your point, and a point that you and I both agree about. So we're already on track with rising deficits. Our deficits are going up close to $100 billion a year at the moment, and we're headed for 91% debt to GDP in 2028. This would take it to 99%, roughly debt equal to the size of our economy. The first time we've been in this position since World War II. And then the third point that's really critical to understand is what happens to people who are on health insurance. So we stopped the repeal of Obamacare. We stopped the gutting of Obamacare, which would have cost 22, 23, 24 million people their coverage. But we're going to do it this way. We're going to kick out one of the legs of the Obama stool by removing the individual mandate, the mandate that each individual has to buy insurance. And according to the CBO, independent scorer, 13 million Americans are going to lose their health insurance over the next 10 years. And so,
very good case for that. We have reduced corporate rates, more incentive to repatriate capital, and reduce protections on intellectual property, for example. Is that, to predict growth is really difficult, and I think it's prudent not to. But is that not something to suggest we can find bipartisan support for that?
Number one, the corporate tax system is broken, and we need to do something about it. Everybody agrees on that. It's a question of balance and how much. These tax bills would give 60...
When you say it's broken, the tax rates are too high for corporations?
They're too high relative to our competitors. There are too many incentives to locate jobs overseas. There are too many ways to then game the system and pay less tax than they're supposed to. It's just a mess. But 60 to 80% of the benefits of this bill, 80 from the House, 60 from the Senate, go to companies versus to individuals. So it's tilted massively in favor of corporations. And I would reference back, I think it was Mike who said at this Wall Street Journal conference the other day, when people were asked how many of you are going to increase investment in America because of this tax bill, 5 hands went up and everybody else sat there.
Why?
Why? Because companies don't make investments based on things like this. They make investments based on where they can achieve a rate of return. And right now, that is somewhat in America, but also more elsewhere.
So, Steve, clearly eliminating Obamacare in this proposal is to get a cash injection, right? To sort of...
It does two things. It gets a cash injection, and for those who want to gut Obamacare, it helps you gut Obamacare.
By the way, can I just say right now, that's never going to happen. People wanted to know why it was inserted. We just found out why it was inserted, so Republican senators can get cover saying, oh, I'll support it now that I've saved Obamacare.
So these geniuses who propose to have it gutted right now, do they have any idea? Have they projected the cost of eliminating health care for 13 million people 10 years
Well,
down the road?
actually, honestly, Mike, it works the other way. They actually save money because these people don't have to pay the penalties. And part of why it was put in here was as a budget gimmick to create some revenue. But let's go back to the politics for a second, because Susan Collins has not said she's going to vote against this. And in fact, she has not said even if this thing stays in, she's going to vote against it. John McCain had some kind of positive mutterings this past weekend. Corker, who's been saying what you said he said for a long time, still hasn't said he's against this bill. Ron Johnson, they're going to deal with very easily by fixing this little problem he has with the pass-throughs, and I suspect they will get his vote before this is over. So I would not count this bill out. I actually think this bill has a better than 50% chance of passing.
I'm with you. The one thing that always unified Republicans on the House floor, when I was there, it still does, tax cuts.
And if they don't get this done, President Trump has accomplished nothing legislatively.
Right.
What does this do to your thinking process in terms of your former political party, the Republican? When you see in the chart, 99%. In what year is it? 99% of the national.
2028.
You know, again, the problem with Republicans are we are forever stuck in 1980. It's a 1980 campaign, Reagan against Jimmy Carter, and what were tax rates back then? 75, 80%. I mean, then it made a lot of sense to go out and you know, reduce the top rate from 75% to 40% or 35%. It's just so much harder now, and also we've got, say it again, we've got a $20 trillion debt. We've got an entitlement crisis that's going to bankrupt. Don't want to admit it, but the reckoning is coming. This is just the wrong time to do this. It's the wrong bill because, and like Steve said, and like every other bipartisan economist or nonpartisan economist has said, it's not going to provide the bump to the economy that's going to make it worth it. Sometimes you have World War II. You talked about it. Sometimes you have to make those choices. Yes, we will go more in debt if it means middle-class Americans are going to, you know, get better paying jobs. There's just no evidence that this is going to bring trillions of dollars into the U.S. economy.
Yeah, it's the wrong tax cut at the wrong time. And don't forget one last point, which is this is payback for the blue states. This is eliminating those state and local tax deductions for all those states that didn't vote for Donald Trump.
All right, coming up.
Which, by the way, Mika, if you're in California and if you're a Republican and you voted for this bill, my suggestion to you in 2018 is duck, because you have just probably done the worst possible thing you could do to small business owners in your state. Go ahead, because I say that as somebody who lives in Connecticut.
I mean, do they really want this bill?
They're paying,
I don't get it.
They already. If you're in California, if you're a small business owner in California, and Republicans voted for this bill, they basically voted for your 55% tax rate to go up to about 60%. It will have devastating impact in Republican districts in California, in New York, in Illinois, across the board. Devastating.
All right, coming up, Heidi mentioned Jeff Flake's potential opposition to the tax plan, something President Trump is well aware of. The president is hammering the Arizona Republican, especially after the senator was caught on microphone again blasting the commander-in-chief, plus the growing feud between President Trump and the father of one of the UCLA players detained in China on shoplifting charges.
This is such trolling of the media. He knew exactly.
Morning Joe is coming right back.